Alright, we're going in blind to our next series. JabbaTheGriffin, aka Trainer Orange, versus Alex Walls. Here's a classic lead matchup. DOA on T-Tar. Do you get the rocks? Do you crunch? And do you even stay in? Versus, do you spike? Do you superpower? All this depends on your team and how you want to do it. So, we have seen this matchup a lot, and we see superpower, and it is Choppletar. I love seeing Choppletar, and it barely lives, and it paybacks and brings the DOA down. And Sand's going to finish it off. So, rocks are not going up. This is why, if you're going to do that, then you're generally going to want a second rocker. I mean, unless your team is just so screaming aggressive that it's like, oh, I'll go without rocks. Because at least DOA generally signifies that you're going to be facing some offense. So if you're taking a Pokemon down, then that at least can make up for not getting rocks, if you have the choice between getting rocks and taking it down. But generally preferable. I mean, this is why non-rocks lead T-Tar is so good, because you can just freely attack with it and you don't have to worry about the whole getting up rocks part of it all. So here comes Jirachi, and that would be a perfect opportunity to go to like Dialga and try to get up rocks on it. But Alex is just going to let it go down. He was going to try to get up rocks in case the Jirachi wanted to get up rocks, so that was smart thinking. You know, Jirachi cannot both KO T-Tar and get up rocks in the same turn. So if you're not going to get up rocks, then you're going to give me a free switch after, and you'll still have to get up the rocks. So nice work, but it's just a Scarf Jirachi, and it's just going to U-turn immediately, and in comes Dialga. So what's going to be the Dialga response? Groudon. So are we going to see some rocks trading from both sides? Well, I have to imagine, yep, rocks from Dialga, and T-Wave. Nicely done. Not a Lum Dialga. We're still waiting for that to show up to really punish the paralysis and the Will-O-Wisps. But I like the T-Wave of the Dialga there, because if there's a switch to a Lottie or a Kyogre or Tina-O, then you're going to punish that. And if Dialga stays in, you have that benefit too. So, it is rocks. I like it. I like that. All right, that makes the T-Tar choice way better. That's more... I like that. We have the... I was distracted by the Draco Meteor missing. So, yeah, so with that gives you the freedom to attack with T-Tar. I dig it. Good on Alex Walls. So the Draco miss sucks. We don't know the Groudon spread. We don't know the Dialga spread. We don't know the Groudon spread. But it does suck. You know, even with the whole paralysis and 90 accuracy thing, it's still, you know, overwhelmingly in your favor. Maybe not overwhelmingly, but very much in your favor to hit. And any chip is good on Groudon, because now you have to switch into it. Shuka on Dialga, I like that. So that's going to be a more offensive variant, and it pairs. Oh, that bites. Here comes the Latios, and a second EQ, so he doesn't T-Wave. That would have been devastating. So Groudon stays in. It has the bulk to survive Grass Knot. That's good. It takes heavy investment, but it's worth it. And that Jirachi might have Healing Wish, but right now it's really... Groudon lets itself go and switches and brings Latios down, but 12% parried Latios, you know, dies to rocks, and 64 parried Dialga before rocks. That's a good use out of Groudon. So even though Jabba is up 5-4, then I would definitely give Alex the advantage, especially as he's gonna get some momentum here, and he's got, you know, those two weakened parried Groudon checks. Then yeah, with that amount of SpDef that Groudon had, then even if max special attack Dialga Draco is not exactly going to threaten it. What would have changed, of course, would be that it would not have been able to pivot, or it would not have been able to withstand that Grass Knot from Latios. So that's big. Also, we have the triple Weather Inducer from Alex here. I always enjoy seeing that. But yeah, so that was a big one. I assume he's going to have something else to switch into Latios, but because you can't just rely on T-Tar. Number one, because Grass Knot is so common, so you can't switch T-Tar into Grass Knot. But also because you know, T-Tar as a lead is going to be sustaining a lot of damage early on, so you can't rely on it defensively. Anyway, so Kyogre coming in here with Latios and Dialga, with Latios basically down and Dialga not far from it, really threatening, because there's Jirachi and Kyogre is left over, so even better sustaining hits. So this Dialga, I mean, even if it has Thunder, Kyogre's going to eat it easily and hit it back really hard, so it could even Calm Mind here if it wanted. Yep, to a KO, because it's an offensive Dialga. That Thunder does do a lot, and he gets a Para, so he's getting something in return. So, and there's a rest. Now, that's an interesting move. I wouldn't... Well, I guess he assumed he would be faster, that he would be slower than the Dialga. Because if it's rest Kyogre, you have to assume it's pretty slow. And generally... So I see where he's coming from, because rest Kyogre is generally pretty slow. And if you see Shuka on Dialga, that's more of a... something you slap on the offensive sets. Usually. You can, of course, run max HP, max special attack Shuka Dialga, and it's a good set. But I see where the assumption was coming from, for sure. So he full paras on that rest, which sucks. And now the Sleep Talk Surf, and now... Yeah, alright, this is, that's pretty brutal. The good news is that Groudon is pretty terrifying, and, well, Mewtwo. Well, here's Mewtwo plugging in holes beautifully, as it's lefties. So, it is lefties, and Groudon is at perfect health, though. So, if it's Lum and it can't be Will-O-Wisped, then it'll 2 a KO, and that could really... and Groudon's a comeback machine. So, I mean, he still has to get through 2 other perfectly healthy Pokemon, but it's not the most unrealistic thing in the world, because remember, earlier we said there has to be something else that can take Draco, so if it's something like a Jirachi, that's not taking Groudon on at all. So, yeah, that's... So it's not the most unfeasible thing in the world. If it's Life Orb, then it's more dicey, especially because the impact of Ice Beam is going to hit it more. But if it's Lum, then, you know, he's in business. So there's EQ doing it. That's Life Orb. And there's Will-O-Wisp. Ugh. So that sucks. Yeah, if that was Lum, this could have been different, because now EQ is going to come up just short. So Stall 2 is just a beast, and this is why, yeah. So that game's not going to be completed. So yeah, that was some unfortunate Pokemon stuff here. We don't get to see the lasts of a promising team, but yeah. So we're moving on to Game 2. So, Tentacruel, Darkrai. Well, this is where Lum comes in. It's until we start seeing Taunt Darkrai lead on non-Scarf, obviously, which you know I'm looking forward to. But if and when that happens, but until then it's going to. Okay, it's Sash. I guess you know, Jabba was adapting to all those psycho boosting DOAs and the EQing Ho-Ohs, and he wanted the Sash again. And Alex says, you know what, I gotta avoid it. I gotta do something. Well, I mean, even if you think it's Lum, then you Dark Void something on the T-Spikes, and then you Dark Void something else. So you're still getting something done with the Dark Voiding. But here he just gets the Void off on the Sash Tentacruel, and it wakes up right away. Now the Bad Dreams, what a great ability. The Bad Dreams do ensure that it loses its Sash, but Tentacruel wakes up early and gets the T-Spike. So at least something was accomplished on both sides. And in comes Kyogre on the rocks with the T-Spikes down. T-Wave Kyogre is a great combination, even with T-Spikes, because you ruin the Lottie twins that are immune to it, and everything else is more or less getting destroyed by it. And he's got the T-Wave alongside it. That's a great combination. I love to see it. So now, what's the switching going to be? Jirachi? Dialga? Hey, it's going to be Jirachi, and Jirachi's going to get up rocks as well. So, a lot of hazards going on, and Latios parried. Kyogre looks in great position here, and Groudon gets poisoned, so Jabba's off to a rollicking start. So now what's the... so here comes Tina O to prevent Kyogre from eating an EQ. Nicely done. Or a Toxic in this case, which is fine. I think that's more than a perfectly fine trade-off. Now pivoting into Kyogre rather than letting Groudon... Or rather than potentially... You know, that's a good move. You know, you could Draco there and just Draco into a Steel and not do very much and lose more health from Toxic. Or you could make a great pivot into Kyogre on that assumed Steel and continue to pressure the opponent's team, which is clearly not very well equipped to deal with it. You know, when you have a situation like this where you have such a big threat in Kyogre that will threaten the opponent's team so much, you want to get it in as much as possible, and you want to do so safely. So that was a great move from Jabba on every level. So to preserve the Giratina and to force the Kyogre on the opponent as much as he could. And he gets it in on Lugia. Well, that's not what I was expecting, but hey. So, you know, support Lugia can generally annoy Kyogre one-on-one, but it doesn't really want to do so. So if I'm Jabba, I'm probably going to Jirachi just to scout it out. And, oh, he goes back to Latios. He doesn't want to, you know, risk anything. And he just Calm Minds. Nicely done. So Calm Mind T-Wave is a brutal set, and it's going to rip its way through Latios here. You know, I would even consider going... I think, I was going to say, I think the move is to Calm Mind again, because Ice Beam's not going to KO, And this way you take less, and at +2 you KO it. You need 2 turns to KO the Latios anyway, after that first Calm Mind. So, and by using the second Calm Mind, then you not only make yourself stronger and bulkier for whatever comes in, but you take less damage from the Latios using Thunder or Grass Knot on you. So I think Calm Minding again was fine. But then again, I guess Ice Beaming there does have slightly better odds because you also have the chance to take out Latios with a crit. So the slightly better odds, but it worked out. So Kyogre's at full health, sitting pretty. So now what's the answer going to be? Darkrai and Dark Voiding it? I mean, this is where the second Calm Mind would be really nice, because you can wake up on Darkrai all day long if you have the second Calm Mind, even with bad dreams. I guess it could trick you, but I mean, is that really a fear, tricking it? I think you can go to Tentacruel here, and if it's like tricking a Scarf, then that's fine. And if it Dark Voids, fine, and you might be able to even get a spin-off or something. So I think that would have worked out fine. But no, he stays in. That's also valid. Neither move was really truly correct from a surface level anyway. He has lefties, so Bad Dreams isn't even that threatening. And he has to go to Groudon on the sleeping Kyogre, a Poison Groudon on the sleeping Kyogre to try and roar it out. That's not exactly ideal. I mean, the EQ does a pretty good chunk, but Kyogre's been sleeping a long time already. So now Darkrai coming back in on the Ice Beam. Oh, so okay, I guess he's gonna trick now with the Sun, and he gets some more Bad Dreams chip on it. Bad Dreams chip is so interesting. I mean, sleep is busted and ridiculous, but yeah, that's a max turn sleep because 1 turn Dark Void, 1 turn where Groudon switches in, 1 turn. Then the third turn would be when Groudon EQ'd it, and then Darkrai stayed in. As I assume Kyogre went for Ice Beam, so that long sleep kind of sucks. And now the trick goes off with Rai in with Kyogre in Sun. So and now T-Tar's gonna come in and. It's poison, no lum, so that makes DD less likely. I guess it's still likely, but more likely that it's like Scarf or Band. So I think Tentacruel could have been the trick absorber there. The hit into max turns kind of sucked, but hey, I guess he got the early wake earlier on. So anyway, so that was so he's just gonna stay in and buffer or batter it with +1 Ice Beam. That is bulky. So he's got a bulky non-rocks Pursuit Tar. I love it. I love to see that. That is something you don't see very much, but that's a perfect slot onto a lot of teams. So I'm really glad to see it. So he prevents himself from getting trapped, and the second Pursuit brings it down. And has the +1 Ice Beam and the Poison bring T-Tar down as well. So Kyogre put in a lot of work. And in comes Dialga, and now we can assume that this is probably Bulk Up, given the whole T-Spikes theme of it all. Bulk Up to, wear down at Groudon or something. So, wow, that low kick does a lot of damage. So he's bulky and strong. But, yeah, so he can't sub or anything, but he goes right for the Dragon Claw. That's a good move. Not sustaining any more damage. Now, I don't know if he's going to want to even stay in on this Groudon. Does he want to sub or something? No, he's just going to Dragon Claw. He's just going to burn right through it, and EQ does not take it out. So Dialga putting in a lot of work here. So the only thing is, if that's like a Calm Mind Lugia or something, then that could potentially be irritating, because Lugia's so bulky, and once you actually remove the whole can't do damage of it all, I mean, you need to give it a lot of turns, but uh-oh. Yeah, Calm Minds, and Roar Dialga, so never mind. Well, there at least. But now another threat comes in. Thank God for those T-Spikes, because, yeah, that would have been brutal. So, Chomp comes in, and we got, EQ weak, EQ weak, EQ weak, and Giratina takes it, but obviously Dragon destroys it. Now, the thing is that I don't know if this Garchomp is Scarf. Yeah, I don't think it's going to be Scarf, which makes it scary, because, but then again, I assume Jabba's last Pokemon is like a Mewtwo or something, which would really lock this game down, because he needs something else fast. I mean, because right now his fastest Pokemon is Tentacruel. So you need something fast in that, like a Scarfer or a Mewtwo or a Lottie or something. Would be matter of fact, I would probably lean towards Lottie simply because right now he doesn't have a really great Kyogre switch. Because the Bulk Up Dialga is not something you really want to use as your Kyogre answer, because then it's not going to be Bulk Up sweeping. And Lottie is a great T-Spike abuser as well. So either one would be fine. I think you can probably sack Tentacruel here and see what it's going to do and then go to that faster Pokemon. Because even if it like starts subbing and all that, then, I mean, that might be annoying, admittedly. So maybe you have to sack this to get it in. But yeah, actually, you sack the Dialga to get that faster poke in, and then you just clean up. Because, I mean, Lugia is at 57 before Rock, so you should be able to finish this off with your Scarfer. There's Outrage, and it doesn't... Ooh, that might actually be tougher. Maybe you should have Roared. It doesn't KO, so maybe it was Scarf, maybe it was just, you know, SD Outrage, who knows. But now the Lugia, well, it depends on what the last is, like if this, but it's going to finish it off with Ice Beam, and, uh-oh, is this going to be a, oh no. Yeah, I think this Lugia is going to win. Oh no. Yeah, because if the Jirachi has Body Slam, that's something else. Well, I guess he has an Icy Wind on Tentacruel, so he can slow it down. But it's still going to be hard to actually KO the thing. Oh, man, it looks like Lugia is going to reverse, engineer a reverse sweep, as Icy Wind ensures that everything's going to be slower than it. But right now, it's going to be like a hope you crit with Kingdra kind of deal, as, you know, even Iron Head is not going to do very much, and it's going to get pressure stalled very quickly. I mean, you can Body Slam. I mean, he's doing what he can. Oh, it doesn't have Earth Power. Okay, since it's Ice Beam Thunder, then that's something else. Because it has to hit a bunch of Thunder. Well, against Jirachi, it has to hit a bunch of Thunders. It can Ice Beam pretty much everything else. And it's going to be paralyzed and having to hit Thunder. So he might be able to PP stall this thing, especially with Wish. Okay, yeah, suddenly... Oh, that sucks. Oh, that really sucks. Getting parried by Sun Thunder from a parried poke, that really bites. I mean, he can still probably PP stall it. Maybe. Because he can definitely live like a bunch of Ice Beams, and the Thunders like really shouldn't be hitting too often. But that really, really sucks. I think he could have avoided this setup. Because I think the Dragon Claw and the Chomp was definitely a little on the hasty side. Well... Maybe. Well, that was a nice... oh, he's not Iron Head. Okay, so he U-turns the Wish into Tentacruel, and he gets a Sash back, which is nice. But what's nice is that he can force the Lugia to either burn a bunch of Ice Beams or miss a bunch of Thunders, if he, you know, either way. So he gets a spin, so that's helpful. And now he can just... Oh, yeah, I think... I have to think about it some more, but... Oh, it's not Sash. If it's not Sash and it's not Lum, then it's something I've never seen on Lead Tentacruel and Ubers. Maybe it's Payappa or Shuka or something. But I feel like those are generally outdone by Sash. But, you know, who knows? That's why other players are in this tournament. So, the Thunder hits, so that sucks. I mean, still not undoable to PP stall it, but... yeah. I mean, see, like, those Ice Beams can be stalled all day. It's the Thunders in Sun, and the Jirachi, you know, getting paralyzed really, really hurts. Oh, 3 in a row. Well, Lugia's getting parried, too. So Jirachi's really just getting lefties here, which is helpful. We have Wish, and Lugia's pressure makes it, you know, also easier to stall. So, oh, this is going to be a tense finish, because it's all about... Lugia has how many attacking PP left, right? Okay, he's got 10 Ice Beams, 12 Thunders, 11 Thunders now. And he's wishing to Giratina, so can't imagine he's going to stay in here. Oh, he's just going to... I guess he's just going to try to burn an Ice Beam PP. Okay, 9, sure. Kingdra, Draco. I guess he has to worry about getting PP stalled there, but I don't know. It feels like... because he doesn't have to use attacking PP to... KO Kingdra or Giratina. He could just stall them and just save all his PP for the Jirachi. But, I mean, hey, Sun Thunder while Para, well, I guess the Para doesn't actually do anything to the Thunder PP, which is the pressing issue, but you still have to, you'd have to hit, but what you do have to do is hit 2 in a row, and that's the big thing. So, yeah, this could very easily still get stalled out. So there's one Sun Thunder. Wow, that's a big damage roll. And Body Slam, and his second one misses, so he's wishing every time. He's got more wishes than there are Thunders, but then there's still Ice Beam afterwards. I guess he can try to like Ice Beam. Well, no, Ice Beam into Thunder doesn't KO, I don't think. But he Calm Minds. Nice waste of a wish. So, yeah, this is an interesting mind game because you want to Stealth Rock when he's going to Calm Mind, but you also want to Wish and... Well, now he's got a Wish for sure. And Ice Beam, and now he's... It's a roll for the Thunder to KO here, but it misses. Now it's not going to KO. So he's got 5 Thunders left and 5 Ice Beams left. And Jabba has... how many? 6 wishes left. Okay, so going to be hard to pull this one off. And of course, there's always a threat of a crit, but at this point, you can't fear that. You gotta deal. So he's got 3 Ice Beams left, and a unfortunate para, but a Thunder brings it down to 4 PP. Stealth Rocking again, not wishing. Oh, no, I think he had to... Well, I guess he has to... At that point, he had to hope for a full para anyway, as Thunder... Yeah, I guess he had to wish the turn before on turn 69, so... That was an unfortunate finish. That was really tight, because he finishes with the 2 Ice Beams and 3 Thunders with the +6/+6 paralyzed Lugia and Sun. So what a finish. Yeah, that was intense. Jabba got off to a great start, but I think he had to be more careful with the Kyogre for sure. That would have locked this game down. But yeah, so great series. I like the teams. I actually like Jabba's team a lot because at first I'm thinking, oh, there's not as much defensive whatever, but then you throw the Kingdra on top, and then that makes up for any defensive deficiencies because you're just ripping through everything. After your opponent thinks, oh, it's one of those slower paced T-Spike and setup teams. Kingdra is very much the opposite of slow paced setup. So. Alright, I'm going to pad this video. So thank you guys for watching. I'm going to pad this video's length a little with some movie recommendations. I really liked the Japanese movie comprised of several folk stories called Kwaidan. It's like 3 hours long or something, but it's beautiful from start to finish. I think that one's by Kobayashi, and that guy never. Yeah, he did, the same guy who did Harakiri, which is also an all-timer if you haven't seen that. That's just very clearly one of the greatest ever. So yeah, I recommend that one quite a bit. I also recommend Sorry to Bother You, which I assume most of you have probably seen Lakeith Stanfield in something by now, because he's fantastic. But Sorry to Bother You is, I think, his best. And it's just a great movie in general. It's written and directed by Boots Riley from The Coop. Really, I mean, completely unafraid to do what it does. So, definitely check that one out. That one's on the more reasonable length side, something like an hour 40, hour 50, or who knows. Yeah, good movie. And then I will recommend a completely off-the-wall Czech movie called Daisies, that one's really short. It's like an hour 15 or something, if that. It's about these 2 Czech girls who just walk around scamming old men who are willing to take them out to dinner because they're kind of gross. They're like, these guys are gonna pivot. I'm thinking about Pokemon too much. If these guys are willing to pay, then we'll take it. Also has some of the funniest moments I've ever seen in any movie, like when they figure out that they do in fact exist. It's a real side splitter. So yeah, and I will conclude this by recommending another Japanese movie called Cure. If you like those serial killer flicks like Zodiac and Seven and all those. I could take or leave most of them. I don't like Seven very much. I think Zodiac is good, but Cure is unbelievably good. That really goes all the way. It is completely unafraid to really take the deepest dive in. So yeah, and I'll conclude by recommending La Haine. I don't know how to pronounce it correctly because I'm not French, but it's basically the French version of Do the Right Thing, which is also an all-timer. So, yeah, so hopefully that has been enough recommendations for you all, and I think this has been padded sufficiently to not have given away the fact that, well, maybe, I don't know, because that the other one was going on for a while, so I guess I'll just list off a couple more. Let's see, Evil Dead 2, that one's not really obscure even a little bit, but it can never be praised enough. Simply for existing. Fallen Angels by Wong Kar-wai. I really like that one. Seduced and Abandoned, the Italian movie from '64. That one's, I think that one's overlooked, but that one's really engaging from start to finish. Let's see what else I have. Oh, Videodrome. It's so gross in the best way possible. It's like, if you like stuff like The Thing, and then you'll really like Videodrome. Let's see. I'm gonna try and get it. Yeah, just 30 more seconds or something. This one, okay, this one's not really obscure at all, but Clerks, just that one's really held up for me. God, I love that one. It's just wonderful from start to finish. It's hashtag relatable, as the TikTokers would say. I assume, anyway. I'm so out of touch with them. And, and I'll recommend one more bonkers Japanese thing called Tetsuo the Iron Man. It's like if Eraserhead was completely psychotic. It's about a guy who fuses with metal. Makes Marvel's Iron Man look like the kiddie fair that it is. So, that's going to be enough, I think. So, hopefully these recommendations were helpful or interesting for you. So, thanks for watching, and I'll see you in the next one.